Howdy. Welcome back to Single Black Men from Des Moines. My name is Al Simon Jr. A little about me: I was a dog handler in the service. I have worked in retail, healthcare, and libraries. I have taught Hapkido for over 20 years. I'm currently single and retired from marriage. Now I'm a fledgling writer. From time to time, I'll read some of my pieces, both fiction and nonfiction. Time permitting, I might tell some jokes that I've heard from the past. I like to keep these around 10 minutes. I'll post stuff every week, so please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to purchase my works, I have some things at Smashwords, or you can email me at al_simon@hotmail.com, and I'll send you a complete list and prices of all my stories. If you order from me, it'll be a little bit cheaper than Smashwords, and the Smashwords has more flexibility in payment options. I only go through PayPal. That being said, let me tell you a story. This is a work of fiction. This was published by Men Matters online journal, and it's called Do You Want the Short Answer? Melvin and Felicia decided on a date. They met at work. She was a unit clerk at Methodist, and he worked in medical records. They went to see Copycat. Melvin was all in with the movie. Although he didn't touch her or make a move on her, Felicia couldn't concentrate on the movie and would tell Melvin years later that she didn't remember the movie at all. After the movie, they went to a village inn for a late breakfast. Felicia went for a Danish and some coffee. Melvin unapologetically ordered a 3-egg omelet, hash browns, 2 sausage patties, and 2 slices of bacon. She raised her eyebrows at his order, to which he responded with, "I didn't eat bacon for a week after watching Babe." Notwithstanding that she felt Melvin wasn't turning out to be a dud, and she could repress her inhibitions, Felicia settled into the end of the date feeling comfortable. She found herself touching his hands, noticing the length of his fingers. "How old is your daughter?" 13. "Oh." It wasn't a judgmental "oh," just a space taker. "What does she do?" "Still in school, cheerleading, choirs, boys." Felicia was smoking. He wasn't. Said, "I tried to smoke once in high school. I'd buy a pack, have a cig or two, and then would forget to smoke the rest of the pack. Mom would get mad at me because she kept washing my clothes and find the cigarettes still in them." Now that I think about it, I wonder if she was more mad at me for washing away the cigarettes or her not being able to smoke them. Felicia tapped off the ash and said, looking into his eyes, "Of course my daughter comes first." Melvin assessed what she said as a cloud colored his eyes. He folded his napkins, dabbed his mouth, and set the cloth on the table. Sensing that his demeanor had changed, Felicia asked, "Is there something wrong? Did I say something to offend you?" Melvin met her eyes. He cleared his throat, reached for his glass of water, and took a sip. "You want the long or short answer?" Felicia felt her hackles beginning to rise. As she sat on her response, she said, "As much as you're willing to tell me." "Okay." His fingers interlaced in front of him as he leaned forward. "Short answer. If I can't be number one in your life, why should you be number one in mine?" "Because a man has to take me as I am." Melvin has never taken his eyes from hers. He wasn't playing 3-dimensional chess in his head. Although he knew this was someone he had to work with, he signaled for the waitstaff, got the bill, and they were soon headed for the parking lot. Both had driven, so they exchanged goodbyes in the parking lot. He walked her to her car. She turned him and gave him a bright smile. "Thanks for this evening." "Pleasure was all mine." "Okay." "Okay," he said. Neither made a move to touch the other. See you tomorrow. They both laughed at saying the same thing. Okay, Felicia said. What's the long answer? Melvin met her eyes and mulled his words. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. Assume that we're married. Am I allowed to discipline her? Without missing a beat and with some ire in her voice, Felicia said, no. But in some way, I would be financially responsible for her. Felicia didn't respond. This is what some women don't understand, or that they don't care about when it comes to men. Technically, all you guys bring to the party is giving men sex. Technically, all men can bring to the party is marriage and the commitment that goes with it. If I'm to be lord and master of my home with some caveats, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I am the table. I can take care of my daughter. I don't need a man to help me. Agreed. However, nothing you said is a selling point for a man. Not when he may be legally responsible for child support. He raised a hand when he saw that she was going to continue to protest. Let's stop. I can see that you're getting angry at me for a hypothetical. He reached forward and took her hand. His voice dropped an octave. Felicia, I like you. I want to see you. But again, if I can't be number one in your life, I just want to be straight with you, that's all. Her eyes met his, and she held them for a long moment before speaking. I guess you have a point. My situation is different, that's all. Melvin said nothing. Okay, she said finally, are we cool? Yes, he said with a laugh, and took her in an embrace. We cool. They never dated again. They still saw each other at work and were cordial. Melvin worked at Methodist for another 6 years before changing jobs. He married and divorced before he saw Felicia while shopping at a Walmart. Both were in their late 50s at this point in time. Before he was aware of who she was, he thought to himself, what do we have here? Most women have that innate sense of being stared at. She at first gave him a side-eyed glance before realizing who it was. She left her cart and headed over and gave him a warm hug. Melvin Clark, you haven't aged a bit. Liar, he said, giving her a squeeze and then reluctantly releasing her. But I could say the same thing about you. You were always easy on the eyes. She patted his chest and began to toy with the collar of his coat. I suppose some woman has finally corralled you. I guess you could say that. Corralled and set free, ridden hard and put away wet. I'm retired from marriage now. She gave him a polite laugh as her mind raced. She had had several men in her life. None had panned out. Oh, there were some that only wanted to smash and dash. Some she was okay with for the most part. That was all they were good for. Oh, I'm sure there's some young filly out there that would love to give you a ride. If that was all I was interested in, yeah, probably. But so many of these young gals these days have so much hardware in their face, it looks like they fell in the tackle box. Although he couldn't see it, her free hand went to her stomach and gave it a pat. She had a navel ring. And, he continued, I'm not a fan of tattoos. I think the woman's body itself is a thing of beauty. I knew one gal had like 5 clouds on her leg with names of her kids in each cloud. Begs the question, do you need a reminder what your kid's name is? It was then her hand slowly left his chest and went to her side. Catching this, he sighed. Guess I struck a nerve. Where's your tat? My daughter's name, on the inside of my forearm. In the back of his mind, he was half hoping that they could reconcile. She looked good, damn good. He was lonely. He felt, all things considered, that he couldn't find anyone better. However, he also thought, open mouth, insert foot. Have you ever seen Cool Hand Luke She shook her head. There's a line in there that goes something like, "What we got here is a failure to communicate." She nodded. It would appear so. They were now a foot or so apart, not touching. "It was good seeing you, Felicia. You as well. All the best." They each went their separate ways and did not look back at the other. And that is it for this story. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to purchase my works, I have some things at Smashwords, or email me at al_simon@hotmail.com, and I'll send you a complete list and prices of all my stories. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get Al out of the ghetto, and I'll close with this. "You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store."